It was a late season surge that took UConn to a national title last year. This year, the Huskies have yet to get going, and they're running out of time. In Hartford, Connecticut, the XL Center, the defending national champs UConn sit at 10-7, South Florida at 7-12. And in the American, red hot at the top are Tulsa and SMU, and that's why UConn has to get it in gear. They sit at 3-2. On the bottom of the XL Center, on the floor, Rich Waltz along with Pete Gillen ready to start this college basketball day. And Kevin Ollie is ready for his team to start climbing and play with a sense of urgency.
UConn has to have a sense of desperation if they want to go to the big dance. They only have 13 games left before the American postseason tournament. It's here in Connecticut, but they don't want to depend on that to go to the big dance.
If they're going to get there, Ryan Boatwright is the guy that will be steering the ship.
Ryan Boatwright is one of the best guards in the country. He can create for himself and his teammates. He can knock down a three-point shot. A tremendous passer. He's a leader of this team both on and off the basketball court. He certainly is a special player.
South Florida is young and thin, and they've lost Chris Perry, one of their bigs for this game. We'll have more details as the game goes along. But it's an ambitious rebuild job for Orlando Antigua.
USF is one of the most inexperienced teams in the country. They only have 2 players available today who played in the NCAA before the season began. They do a great job, but they got to really play very well today. Anthony Collins and Corey Allen Jr. really have to step up this afternoon.
So which way is this game going? Our AT&T Fast Analysis. Ladies and gentlemen, Pete Gillen.
For USF, they have to be bullish on the boards. They got to rebound. They also got to knock down some threes if they want to win this afternoon. For the Huskies, who's the second guy? Who's going to help Ryan Boatwright? And they got to ace the chemistry test. They got to play well together.
UConn trying to get it going. South Florida looking for a big upset. In Hartford, the Bulls and the Huskies.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by AT&T, mobilizing your world. By Buffalo Wild Wings, the official hangout for NCAA basketball. And by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, the perfect combination of chocolate and peanut butter.
And on this chilly afternoon, the XL Center filling up. Defending national champs UConn and South Florida. There's Orlando Antigua. Yesterday, Chris Perry, the sophomore, went to the bench during practice, had chest pains and shortness of breath. Spent the night in a hospital, is still undergoing tests. He is obviously not available to play. That means Bo Ziegler will join that starting lineup. And of course, with UConn, you've got Boatwright, Amita Brima down low, 6 blocks against South Florida the first time they met. Kevin Ollie and the Huskies were winners. Winners in their last game as well. UConn beat Central Florida 67-60. Coach Gillen, what kind of pace, what kind of tempo will we see?
Well, the Huskies want to run because they're very athletic and they're best in transition. And I think USF wants to take their time, try to shorten the game because they don't have the firepower that UConn has.
You mentioned Collins and Allen, the backcourt. This is Allen, jumper on the way. And that's the strength, especially with Perry out of the South Florida team.
Exactly. USF will go as far as their guards will take them.
Omar Calhoun misses a 3. Now, UConn has been shooting the 3 quite well in their last 2 games. There's a look at Brima, the sophomore, the 7-footer. And that's a real concern for South Florida with Perry out, is the size of UConn.
Exactly. Yeah. If I'm the Huskies, I'm going inside. Throw the ball inside to Brima. Not a great score, but he can cause some problems inside if the Huskies go inside out.
Boatwright, there it is, inside to Brima, put it on the floor. Now he hits the deck. It's a held ball. UConn will get it back. We're just underway. XL Center in the American. UConn and South Florida.
Nice job by Boatwright. Bounce pass into the post, but Brima tried to do something with it, Rich, before he got the ball. Look the ball into your hands, like in baseball. You're a big-time baseball player at UC Davis.
You're starting already. Come on, Coach.
I'm sorry. I'm a little antsy, a little squirrely today, Rich.
It's an early start here. Shot clock did not reset, and it's at 8. Calhoun is cut off. Brima again on the floor. Forced the shot. And
wow, I was physical, Rich.
It's already melted down to 3 seconds as this shot clock, and UConn will have another inbound pass, but they don't have a lot of time left on the possession. Hamilton will trigger it in. Bounced it off the back of Guerrero and lays it up and in.
Great job. Daniel Hamilton, a freshman from Los Angeles, heady move, threw it off his goalie and got it back and finished it.
So a 2-0 start, a creative 2-0 start for the defending national champs. Nice entry pass and catch by Nehemias Murillo, the junior out of the Dominican Republic.
You can speak those names very well, Rich, being down with the Miami team, the baseball team.
Brima, head down and a shot blocked, but a foul. And no foul, it's a walk before the contact. Guerrero defending Brima.
The Huskies are trying to establish their inside game, get it inside to Brima, but he dropped it once and the other time turnover, so big guy's got to focus.
South Florida with the possession. This is Murillo.
South Florida wants to score in the first 5 seconds of the shot clock or the last 5 seconds because they don't have the firepower or the scoring potential of UConn. So shorten the game.
Good ball movement. Ziegler a drive and Brima up to smack it away. Boatwright in transition. And that is what UConn wants to continue to do. The defense has gotten a little better in the last couple games, and that leads to early offense.
Exactly, Rich. Great defense, led to fast break and a big-time three. And he kept it in bounds. Bill Russell used to do that many years ago.
Over Brima. Murillo got it up and over Mount Brima for the bucket.
Bill Russell, who played at San Francisco and for the Celtics, used to block shots and get the Celtics on a break, and that's what Brima did for the Huskies in that last possession.
You're right, a very different USF.
Yep.
Boatwright matched up, pair of 11s. Anthony Collins defending him. Hamilton off a screen. This is Calhoun driving. He had to get it up over Guerrero, who lost the rebound, and it's picked up by Corey Allen Jr. In transition, trailing is Ziegler, and he bangs home a jumper. And USF has a 1-point lead.
That's what the Bulls got to do, score in transition, Rich, before the Huskies' good man-to-man defense gets set.
Boatwright waits for a screen from Facey. Hamilton, a line drive runner, and a foul inside.
Brima is one of the best shot blockers in the nation. Penetration, Brima says, no, not in my house. They get out and run. Hamilton pushes it ahead. Boatwright fills the lane. Tremendous defense leads to great offense for the Huskies. One of the best spots to shoot the three is in transition because the defense is not back yet, Rich, and you have more time.
Rodney Purvis in for UConn, just underway. South Florida 1-point lead. About 4 minutes of escape from this ball game. This is Murillo. Allen, look at the arc on that, and he missed the three. Kevin Ollie said yesterday, defense is something that UConn really wants to improve, and he hopes that improved defense will lead to offense. Boatwright, step back. Oh, wow, that's nice. From 19 feet, his foot on the stripe.
He's got it rolling. One of the best guards in the country. He can create his own shot. One of the few guys on the UConn team that can create their own shot, and he creates for himself and his teammates. Leading scorer in American, Ryan Boatwright.
So far, so good for South Florida. Playing shorthanded. And an offensive foul on South Florida. Ryan Boatwright with a pair of buckets. And UConn at home against South Florida. Defending national champs UConn on top of South Florida by a point. Time now for a better look at Ryan Boatwright. Eye Tracker brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings.
Here we see Ryan Boatwright penetrate now. Gets into the lane, but he makes a poor decision. Defense they're surrounding him. Nowhere to go. 3 guys around. He forced the shot up. Bad decision. But now here we see the good Ryan. Ryan penetrates. He stops at the free throw line. Now he can go different ways. He can pass to the right or to the corner. He sees the corner. He sees his partner there. Rodney Purvis from way downtown. Transfer from NC State, nails a 3.
You see the numbers. He is leading the American in scoring, up there in assists, field goal percentage, and steals. But as you mentioned, for UConn, they need some help. They need more than just Boatwright if they're going to actually get it in here and get to the NCAA tournament.
Exactly, Rich. He's a great player, but he's a 6'1", 6'2" guard, and teams in this league, it's a great league, the American. They can control him and hold him to 12, 14 points. He needs another guy that can step up consistently and score. I think it's going to be Daniel Hamilton. He's a freshman, but I think he's going to do it because he can create his own shot. He can knock down a 3 and drive. He's very versatile.
Of course, last year, Shabazz Napier had DeAndre Daniels, Niels Griffey as well. And UConn got hot late and rode it all the way to a national championship.
Exactly.
Boatwright, skip pass, stolen there by Collins. Up the floor, good speed, and the dunk with a right hand. Wow. Nehemias Murillo, the junior, is having a nice ball game so far for South Florida.
Good start. And the longer the Bulls can hang in there, more their confidence will grow. They'll get a chance for a monumental upset, especially playing without Chris Perry, as you mentioned before.
If you just joined us, Chris Perry, 11.7 rebounds a game. Sam Cassell Jr., and that's a good sign for a cold shooter. Sam Cassell, Kevin Ollie feels, is a much better shooter than he has shown so far, and he knocks down his initial 3.
Exactly right, Rich. They've been waiting for him to knock down the perimeter shot. That's his reputation coming out of junior college.
This is Collins. Perry yesterday left practice with shortness of breath and chest pain. Spent the night in a Hartford hospital, is still undergoing tests. This is Purvis, and he's fouled on the reach by Corey Allen Jr. Not a bad foul.
It's a good foul. Good foul. Don't give up the dunk. Good defense by the Huskies. Purvis goes in. It's a good foul. So again, Corey Allen is their leading scorer, but you don't want to give a breakaway. Don't give him a layup. So good job by Corey Allen Jr.
Purvis to the line. You see his three-point shooting percentage at 37. That's just a little less than his free throw percentage. He is now 16 of 32, so he's reached 50%. There's Chris Perry, and there's what they lose with Perry. If we get any word on him, and if he is released, the Bulls are hoping for the best. Tests are still ongoing in a local Hartford hospital.
Yeah, very talented big man, only a sophomore, lost a lot of weight, and it's a big loss for the Bulls.
So Purvis with a couple free throws and a 4-point lead for UConn. Allen, Collins in the backcourt. Murillo already with 6 points. Ziegler and Guerrero are the bigs.
The Bulls guards are very quick. They love to come off ball screens.
Stolen. It's Purvis again on a run out. Rodney Purvis, the North Carolina State transfer, with a pair of free throws and that layup, both off of runouts, and UConn's biggest lead is 6.
Rodney Purvis, very good athlete. Nice anticipation. Was a McDonald's All-American. Nice steal. Leads to a flush and a finish. Ooh. Nice job coming at you. Rodney Purvis.
This is exactly what Kevin Ollie wanted. Defensive pressure leads to offense, and we've seen it already 3 times early in this ballgame.
Exactly. They want their defense to get their offense going. Connecticut plays outstanding man-to-man D. It slipped the last couple of games, so they want to rebuild it because that's what they want to hang their hat on is their defense. And not a great scoring team. Why? Because Connecticut can't score inside. Brime is a good player, but he's still learning. He's still growing. We saw a couple of turnovers there. Kevin Ollie is a tremendous player in college for the Huskies and 13 years in the NBA and very popular. Everybody really liked him and to hang around. He wasn't drafted. Like 13 years in the league is outstanding.
And of course, his mentor, Jim Calhoun, is in the house.
Big Jim. I coach against him. I get some of these rashes when I see him because he used to beat me like a rented mule.
Murillo. On the dish, Guerrero kicks to Ziegler. And the rebound is Sam Cassell Jr. UConn with the ball and the lead, 7 minutes in. The Huskies winners in their last ball game against Central Florida. But on their road trip, they lost to Stanford last weekend and lost to Tulsa, who's near the top of the American. Tulsa and Frank Haith having just a terrific season. And they continue their climb. Cassell, a fall away, missed the jumper, and the rebound to Bo Ziegler of South Florida.
Yeah, we did that game, Tulsa against UConn, on CBS Sports Network, and Tulsa is very impressive for sure.
Tulsa sitting at 7-0. SMU at 7-1 atop the American. Tulsa 14-5. Nice give. Ziegler got Brima up, and that'll be a key if South Florida can get him in foul trouble. It's his first personal, and free throws coming for the Bulls.
And we see now Corey Allen Jr. Nice backdoor cut. Excellent pass. Foul. Got to attack the big guy. When you have a great shot blocker like Brima, you got to bring him away from the basket, Rich. Have his man set ball screens a lot. So he's got to help out. You can't let him camp out underneath there because he's a great shot blocker.
Ziegler misses the free throw. There's Orlando Antigua, longtime assistant to John Calipari. Started out as an assistant to Jamie Dixon as well. His first year as the head coach under South Florida. Into the ballgame, Philip Nolan. And speaking of John Calipari, we saw Jaleel Cousins come in. That's a younger brother of DeMarcus Cousins, former Wildcat. Cousins going to get a little more playing time today in the absence of Perry. Second free throw on the way.
Exactly. He's been very important. He's going to have to use some rebounds and some fouls and help out inside. And we see a 2-3 zone by USF. They're doing that because the Huskies are usually not a good three-point shooting team, Rich, even though, as you mentioned, lately they've been doing much better from downtown.
Terrence Samuel into the game for Boatwright. And he scores in the lane.
Sam does an excellent job slashing to the basket. Not a great perimeter shooter, but really a young man from Brooklyn can really attack the basket off the bounce.
So the lead is stretched to 7. UConn's defense has been impressive. Murillo. Hamilton with the rebound. And his pass whistles by everybody. Timeout on the floor, 16-9, Kevin Ollie. And the Huskies on top in Hartford. XL Center in Hartford, second home for the UConn Huskies. Tournament resume obviously needs some work. They're going to hopefully get on a run and take it back to Kinko's and dress it up by the time they get to March. But the nice thing for UConn, they've stumbled certainly at 10-7. 12 games remaining after this. 9 of those games are against the upper half of the American. So they've got opportunities to climb back up to the top of their conference. And the American postseason tournament is right here on this floor.
Exactly. So they got to start their run today, right now. Here we see, nice job, Ryan Boatwright with a step-back jump shot off the screen. Sam Cassell Jr. from way downtown, who's an excellent shooter. And Ronnie Purvis, who didn't start, he's certainly very motivated now. He wants to get back in that starting lineup with a steal and a finish.
You see the field goal shooting. Both teams have shot it pretty well. UConn with 5 fast break points and 4 points off turnovers. And so South Florida, who comes in at 7-12 in the first year of Orlando Antigua's tenure.
USF has to get Corey Allen Jr. going. He's their leading scorer. They're going to run some screens for him, get some shots for Corey Allen Jr.
Cousins, and 3 seconds in the lane, a turnover. 4th turnover for South Florida. There's Orlando Antigua, played at Pitt, played for the Puerto Rican national team, has coached the Dominican national team and done quite well with that. And of course, a longtime assistant for John Calipari, last 5 years at Kentucky.
I coached against Orlando when he was at University of Pittsburgh under Ralph Willard. I was at Providence, and he's a heck of a player, very emotional. He's going to do a great job, I think, with USF. Just going to take a little time.
Rodney Purvis, off the bench, has provided a nice spark for UConn, not only in this game, but the last few games that he's been on the bench.
He wants some more playing time, Rich. He wants to take the sunglasses off, get more of a burn.
Well, that's a dilemma then for Kevin Ollie, because he likes him off the bench. He has all of a sudden found himself off the bench. He's got 6 early points here. As a coach, do you put him back in the starting lineup? Do you keep him on the bench?
You keep him where he's playing the best. That's what's best for the team. But most players want to start, Rich. Now, Rodney, maybe he's more comfortable off the bench, but he's certainly playing, I think, with more of a sense of urgency that I've seen. We both watched him play a lot, right? He seems like he's very motivated today.
Doug Gottlieb Show, fast-paced, always opinionated. Get to know Doug Gottlieb face-to-face. Doug Gottlieb Show, weekdays 3 Eastern on CBS Sports Network, 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Rich Waltz, Pete Gillen, as the college basketball day starts here in Hartford. In the American, the rest of the day here on CBS Sports Network. Cincinnati is at Central Florida in a women's game. South Florida in action against Tulane later on today. And Troy Holston Jr. off the bench buries a 3, a much-needed one. It's a 6-point UConn lead.
Exactly.
Oh, bad pass, good defense. And the foul. The foul's actually going to go against South Florida and Anthony Collins.
Yeah, good call. He hit him with his body. It's either that or you just play on, either way.
UConn going to their bench. Back into the ballgame is Omar Calhoun. Boatwright, Calhoun, Purvis. Daniel Hamilton is back in as well. And Philip Nolan is the big for the Huskies.
South Florida back to man-to-man. They're changing defense to try to get UConn out of their rhythm.
Purvis misses the 18-footer. Anthony Collins in the backcourt for South Florida. The Bulls on this road trip scored just 48 points in a loss to Temple on Thursday night. Holston, who just hit the bucket, weaves his way through, and a corner 3 is off. That was Denaro Mercurius who has checked in.
I go to Rodney Purvis. Right now, I think he's feeling it. Set some screens for Rodney.
Ball screen, Boatwright. Nice dish. Runner from Hamilton. Wildly off the glass. Got the rebound. And a fresh possession. Boatwright weaving. Boatwright with the left hand. Free throws are coming.
He really can create. He's really tough off the bounce. Ryan Boatwright. Nice inside-out move. Steps away at the end. It's a way to attack the basket. He can score on all 3 levels, which means he can hit a 3-point shot, Rich, tremendous off the mid-range game, and get to the basket and finish around the hoop.
He did not have good games from the field in Tulsa and at Stanford. He was just 6 of 22. You see South Florida bringing in some subs. Back in a starter, Ruben Guerrero. Purvis coming out. And some good minutes from him off the bench. 6 points. Boatwright missed that free throw. The rebound, Facey with the putback. Nolan's putback blocked from behind. And it was Mercurius who got the block.
Both these teams do a great job blocking shots.
Lob, Guerrero, there's the catch. He's bracketed by bigs in low.
Got to bring the big man away from the basket, have them set ball screens so he can't block shots. That's how you handle a big guy.
Good help defense there. Getting a hand on it was Omar Calhoun. That's exactly what UConn has worked on all week in practice. Boatwright almost lost it. Hamilton spinning, and he gets it to go.
He's going to be their second scorer eventually, besides Boatwright. Very talented young man. He's very versatile. He can hit the 3, go off the bounce, and post up. Very tough to guard. He's only a freshman.
Lead is stretched to 9. Dre Clayton with the ball off the bench for South Florida. No Chris Perry in this ball game. And so the Bulls already thin, have to go a little deeper. And Clayton, a line drive three that doesn't go.
Looked like he wasn't sure what to do. Might as well air it out, but that's not his strength. Strength is posting up inside, going to the offensive glass.
Hamilton, Boatwright off the screen. Boatwright has 6. Ryan Boatwright. Calhoun, the dish to Nolan. Into the passing lane, on the steal and the run out. This is Holston, and he missed the layup. Hamilton hustled back defensively. Boatwright turns around to Kevin Ollie.
I go back to Hamilton. I think he's feeling it. I don't think Holston can guard him.
Calhoun right back, Boatwright, quick trigger. Bang, a 3. 9 for Boatwright. UConn's biggest lead.
You think about a timeout, but the next dead ball, we have a TV timeout. So Orlando Antigua's decided to wait, but you got to stop the bleeding sooner or later. I would call a timeout now if I'm USF. You want it to get worse. Anthony Collins got to be more aggressive for the Bulls. Attack the basket.
This is Collins. Guerrero with a shot clock running down. And he's fouled on a reach by Nolan. The defending national champs have it rolling here against South Florida. Daniel Hamilton and Ryan Boatwright fueling a 12-point UConn lead. Six minutes left, first half. UConn on top of South Florida. In South Florida, taking over for Stan Heath, Orlando Antigua in his first year. He started, of course, coming out of the Bronx to Pitt. And he was a terrific player for the Panthers. And then his professional career playing for the Puerto Rican national team and the Globetrotters, his nickname, Hurricane. Jamie Dixon took him under his wing for the first 3 years back at his alma mater. After a year in Memphis, he followed John Calipari on to Kentucky, a key recruiter and assistant coach, finds himself in his first year, and he brought a familiar face with him. Rod Strickland, who was a part of that Kentucky staff, is on the staff with South Florida. Sergio Rauco, also an assistant. His brother, Oliver Antigua, is back. Now that is great use of the GoPro. I don't know if we've got access to that footage, but we might want to try in the second half. 6 minutes left in this first half. UConn's defense has been impressive. Ryan Boatwright has 9.
UConn plays a 2-3 zone on their out-of-bound defense, so teams can't get a layup. It's a lot tougher to score against a zone defense on out-of-bounds plays. Good job by the Huskies. Now they've got to contest the outside shot.
Murillo rises and hits. Nehemias Murillo, the junior college transfer, much like Antigua, born in the Dominican Republic, went to school in the Bronx. Antigua and his brother Oliver raised in the Bronx after being brought over from the Dominican. And Murillo played at Monroe College in New York. Boatwright with a foul on USF. Now there's Oliver Antigua, the brother of Orlando, and the Antigua family had a loss this week. Grisalina O'Geary, the aunt to the Antiguas, passed away. The wake was in Springfield on Thursday. There's a big contingent of the Antigua family here to watch with both Orlando and brother Oliver.
Our condolences to the Antigua family for their loss. She helped raise them in the Bronx for many years.
Boatwright, and he's fouled Ziegler with a shove.
Rich, you would do a great job with those pronunciations of these names. You've got a lot of practice, huh, with them.
Well, there they are. There's the Antigua family. Many of them coming over from the Bronx, as we noted. St. Raymond High School. That's where both Oliver and Orlando starred. Brima with a big dunk, but it was an offensive foul before that, and it's Brima's second personal. And he's going to come right back out to Philip Nolan. So a lot's going right for UConn, but this is not one of them.
No, once again, you got to watch the elbows. He gave a little hook. Yep, little offensive foul. Wasn't malicious. Glad they didn't replay it, Rich. Sometimes they replay and it takes forever, but that was not replayable. Now they got to get Corey Allen Jr. going.
And Hamilton
there he is.
Reached up trying to keep pace with him.
It's number 4. Hasn't scored yet. He's a very good player, one of the top scorers in the American. They got to run some screens for him, run him off the baseline.
Second personal. And the 5th team foul on UConn. Back in with a hot hand, Rodney Purvis. He had 6 points off the bench. And another foul. Purvis coming off a screen. And he clobbers Allen. All right, replays, rules. If we have any questions, we can go to John Adams. Carol Lawson on one side. Jim Calhoun was sitting next to him, but I think Coach Calhoun is up and pacing at this point.
Yeah, a little nervous. Only got a lead by 9, so he's a little anxious. But John Adams, ahead of the referees in the country, and goes around watching games all over the place. He's done a great job, and we talked to him a little bit before the game, and he said we think it's been a good season so far, and we've got to do a little better job on the flopping. The NBA has a flopping rule now. If you flop a couple of times, you get fined. He says too much flopping in the college game. He says we got to have a rule to prevent that.
Calhoun cut off on the baseline. UConn's gone a couple minutes without a point here. Nolan lost it in the lane. Outside of Purvis and Boatwright, they've been the offense, and it's Purvis, a block on South Florida's Nehemiah Murillo.
Ronnie Purvis is like a freight train going downhill. Boy, he's strong, attacks the basket, maneuvers around his man, gets fouled. Very talented player. He's stepping up well today. They need that. He could be the second scorer.
Foul actually on Bo Ziegler, and it's his 3rd personal. And we talked about the lack of depth with Chris Perry. Ziegler getting the start in his place. And off the bench is Jaleel Cousins. And so Ziegler sits down. Chris Perry, sophomore forward, 11.7 rebounds. Last night had to leave practice. Doubled over on the bench with chest pains, shortness of breath. Spent the night in a Hartford hospital. Still undergoing tests.
Yeah, the Huskies got to have the killer instinct now. Put him away. Try to get a big lead.
Cousins with a screen. Murillo rises. Missed it. UConn is just dominating right now on the boards. 14-4. Boatwright.
Nice look. USF's got to go to Corey Allen now. Get him the ball off some screens. Run him off screens or help him with a pick and roll. He's their best player. Got to get him some shots.
South Florida down 10. Collins going to have to move close to a 5-second count. Shot clock already down to 6. Collins in the lane. Tries to dish. Does. Cousins left hand. Scramble for the boards, shoving Facey and Cousins. The officials quickly get in to separate him. And we'll see there's an initial foul. Whether there's more than that, let's take a look.
You see.
Well, if you watch the replay, the shove comes from Kenton Facey. Yeah. It was a foul on Cousins on the reach. And you see Facey with the shove. Cousins had an elbow up, engaged as well.
Yeah, but just entangled. I think he just play on, Rich.
As are we, Coach, you and I, entangled. And no whistle, 25-15, UConn. Yeah. In the American, UConn on top, 25-15. A little over 3 minutes left, first half. AT&T at the half. It's a busy Sunday in college basketball, and we'll update you on all the action and preview games to come. Adam Zucker, Seth Davis. AT&T at the half. Ryan Boatwright, the senior. A nice mix of playmaking and scoring, and he's shown that in this one.
Doing a heck of a job here in transition. Knocks down the three-point shot. Creates, really good off the bounce, creates his own shot. Here he goes again, knocking down threes. He's 3 for 4, 2 for 2 from three-point land. 9 points for Ryan Boatwright, one of the top guards in the country.
The officials during the break did look at that replay on their courtside monitors and decided no other foul than the one on the reach by Cousins.
Good decision. They were just entangled with each other, and you know, can't overreact once again. But I think it's good they checked it out. That's what they want them to do.
So 1-1 for Facey. 8 team fouls for South Florida. UConn has 6 team fouls. And Facey will get another free throw. The sophomore out of Jamaica. This is still a young UConn team with Hamilton, the freshman, Brima and Facey, the sophomores, Calhoun, Jr., Boatwright, the only senior that starts. And Rodney Purvis, who plays big minutes, just a sophomore as well.
Yeah, a lot of young players. Ryan Boatwright's one of the best on-ball defenders in the country, so the best player for USF, Corey Allen Jr., has really got his hands full trying to score against this outstanding defensive guard.
And Allen is 0 for 2. He has not scored a point in the ballgame. South Florida with just a dozen, and a reach by Boatwright. Murillo with a shot clock at 8, and it's free throws, 1-1. Boatwright not happy. Neither is Kevin Ollie. And so Murillo misses the first, and somebody was in early. It was South Florida. They were into the lane early. And those are the growing pains for Orlando Antigua. This is one of the youngest teams out of, what, 350 or so Division I schools. South Florida is one of the very youngest teams in terms of experience in the nation.
Two guys available this afternoon that have NCAA experience before the season.
It's amazing. Purvis misses the 3. Murillo and a reach behind the play. It was Philip Nolan. Things have gotten a little chippy here.
That's good. You got to clean it up. You don't want to have any pushing and shoving. Kevin Ali's done an outstanding job. A lot of class. He doesn't get too shook. Doesn't get too high, too low. So the team is that way. And the team often reflects the coach.
Well, that was evident certainly in the run last year to the national championship. The win over Florida in the Final Four, and then, of course, the win over Kentucky. And so these two coaches finished the season facing each other. And Antigua was on that Kentucky staff, and, of course, UConn winning the national championship, their 4th.
Since 1999. One of the schools done that, Rich. 4 championships since 1999 is outstanding.
2004, 2011, 2014, of course, as you pointed out, 99. Holston is fouled. It was Nolan again. UConn has turned up the dial on the defensive intensity, and the fouls have come here.
All right. Good call. Bumping with the body, you can't do that. You can't use the arm bar, put your arm on a guy's back, and you can't bump him. You can't knock him off his pace.
Ruben Rakim into the ball game for UConn, and Nolan sits down with 3 personal fouls. So Nolan has 3. Daniel Hamilton and Amita Brima both with 2.
If USF can go into the locker room, Rich, down 7 or 8 points, they'd be thrilled. They're in a deep hole, but once again, the game's not over. It's a long game. They got to try to hang in this last minute, 56 seconds. Hang in there. Right now, down 11. So you're in there down a couple more, cut it down a little bit.
And a pair of free throws by Troy Holston Jr., the freshman out of Queens. So it's 10, and it's under 2. A little sloppy in the backcourt. Boatwright under control now.
Sometimes when you get a big lead, you think, hey, they're missing Chris Perry, got a big lead, let's just chill, but you got to keep playing. You got to put their foot on the neck of USF if you're the Huskies. You're USF, chip away, hang in there. Game's not over.
Now Purvis, strong drive, and Holston fouled him. Purvis very much earned those 2 free throws.
Attack the basket. Rodney Purvis, transfer from NC State. Nice job. Well, he's like a runaway freight train, attacking the basket. Like you going to the buffet line, you know, and the meal before the game.
For Holston, it's his second personal. Purvis, we mentioned the free throw shooting was, and you know, it's not just Purvis. UConn, mysteriously, as the Bulls go to their bench and Mercurius is back in. Last 3 ball games, Central Florida, Stanford, and Tulsa, UConn has been awful from the free throw line, 17 of 36.
Wow, not even 50%.
They've shot better from the three-point stripe the last 2 games than they have from the free throw stripe. Yeah. That's hard to do.
That's lack of concentration, lack of focus, lack of doing the same thing every time. Now, Corey Allen's got to get going, but he's got his handful against Ryan Boatwright.
Another foul inside.
Wow.
A hold, I think it's Sam Cassell Jr. At 14 and a half, and he hasn't scored, but as you've noted, he's had Ryan Boatwright draped on him.
Most of the time, Ryan Boatwright is a tremendous on-ball defender. He doesn't get enough credit for that.
Murillo at 74%, and he hits a free throw, and South Florida doing their damage right now from the free throw line.
Now, if I'm USF, I go to a zone press, 2-2-1 zone press, back to the zone. Right now, UConn's a little bit out of sync.
Murillo, a pair of free throws, and it's just as you noted, it's single digits now. A couple times in this half, it felt like UConn was ready to blow it wide open.
Exactly.
You see the three-point shooting. Cassell rises. He can't finish. And a hustle rebound.
Oh, boy.
A little too much hustle. It's kicked out as both Guerrero and Allen were after the rebound.
That was a giant defensive rebound that USF did not get, Rich.
Cassell comes out. Omar Calhoun back in for UConn. Final minute, first half. UConn a good start, but a rough 5 minutes. And the tip, that's a reaching foul, and again, South Florida's going back to the line. Looked like Facey over the top. The crowd and Kevin Ollie not real happy.
I think it was a good call. I thought he went over the back. The good news now, they're going to shoot free throws. The bad news is USF only shoots 63% from the free throw line. So they got to make their free throws if they want to hang in there.
South Florida 3 of 5 from the line in this one. And this is Jaleel Cousins, the younger brother of DeMarcus. And he misses the first of 2. A true center and a work in progress. Out of Navarro College in Texas. Mobile, Alabama's home. And he missed them both. So 2 misses.
Yep. Coming into the game, he was shooting only 54% from the line.
UConn's going to burn their timeout with 51 seconds left. It's been an interesting half for the Huskies. First 12 minutes, very good defensive start. It led to points, just like Kevin Ollie talked about yesterday. But the last 6-7 minutes, lots of fouls, inability to knock down shots. And South Florida is down by just 9.
We talked about it. The Huskies struggle in a half-court offense because they don't have an inside scorer. They don't have a guy they can throw to in the low post and get fouled or make some baskets. And Boatwright's the only guy that can create shots on his own. Hamilton a little bit. So right now, USF's got to take advantage of it, Rick.
On a cold day, a nice crowd here at the XL Center in Hartford. There are the struggles for UConn on the season. You see where they are in the NCAA. Night and day from where they were at the end of last year, obviously.
But they lost so many guys. They lost 5 players, good players. Lance Croma, a young man transferred from George Washington, was another valuable guy. Mills Gaffey, Orlando, Shabazz Napier, Samuels. That's 5 talented seniors. Everybody's role is different right now.
Purvis a dunk down and a foul on the blocks. And it's Rakim, the freshman out of Miami, who will get free throws.
Nice bounce pass inside. That's where to attack the basket. Kim Lubin doesn't play that much, Rich, so he's getting a little chance. Got to take advantage of it.
Lubin's free throw is off. Second one on the way. And so the lead now at 10 with 35 seconds left in this first half.
Be smart now. USF, don't shoot too soon. I would shoot with about 9 seconds to go.
Cousins.
Too soon. Don't shoot it now.
Threw it away. Purvis with a steal. A lot of time left. Purvis down the lane. And a hand on him as he went down the lane from Denaro Mercurius. And not a great possession for South Florida.
That really hurts. You had a chance to. Last shot of the game. Now the Huskies got a chance for 2 free throws. Good call. He had his arm beside the ball. Turnover hurt.
So 2 for Purvis. And he misses his first free throw. And UConn now 6 of 9 for the free throw stripe. Terrence Samuel back in. Boatwright checks out. Purvis hits another.
I'm USF. I'm going to set a high ball screen for my best player, Corey Allen Jr. Set him a pick, and he's got to attack the basket, either pull up for a jump shot or try to drive all the way.
5 seconds left, first half. Allen earns 2 free throws with 1.2 left in the half.
Nice job, stop and go dribble, Corey Allen Jr. Ryan Boatwright is sitting down. Corey Allen gets 2 free throws, so can't underestimate the value of Ryan Boatwright offensively and defensively.
Rakim Lubin with a foul. And it's South Florida who can't shoot free throws in this one. 5 of 10 from the free throw line. AT&T at the half is coming up. Allen hits 1 of 2. The lead is 10 for the defending national champs. Got to get it up. And Lubin does and misses. Well, an uneven first half for Ryan Boatwright and the Huskies. A 10-point lead nonetheless. Coming up after the break, AT&T at the half. UConn by 10 at the half. You're watching college basketball on CBS Sports Network, 24-hour home of CBS Sports. And back in Hartford, the defending national champs, UConn on top of South Florida in the American. It's a 10-point halftime lead. Rich Waltz along with Pete Gillen. It's a 10-point halftime lead. Coaches across America would be happy with that. I don't know that Kevin Ollie is. There were a couple of opportunities for UConn to blow this one wide open, and they didn't take it.
They didn't. They got to put the foot on the neck of, you got the lead, you got to put them away. They didn't. 10 points is not a lot of points with the 3-point line available.
AT&T fast analysis here as we get set for the second half. And certainly for UConn, they got off to a quick start. You had to like the first 10 minutes of this ball game.
Exactly. Did a nice job. Here we see USF, Corey Allen attacking the basket. He only got 1 point. He averages 14 points a game. Here we see nice steal by Rodney Purvis. The Huskies got 6 steals. They got 10 points off 9 turnovers by the USF Bulls. Here we see Boatwright swinging it. The bench was excellent. 15 points off the benches. Nice job by Sam Cassell Jr. So excellent job by the Huskies.
Numbers, what jumps out at you?
Well, bench points, 15 for the Huskies, only 5 for the Bulls. We see Corey Allen Jr. only 1 point once again. He's their leading scorer for USF. And Boatwright, 9 points. He's 3 for 4 from the field. So nice job by the Huskies. It's not over yet, but they got to try to put them away the first 4 minutes of the second half.
Foul trouble. That was something that UConn had to deal with. Amita Brima, their big man, was in foul trouble early and played just 9 minutes of the first half. And for South Florida, the Bulls obviously did not shoot well and turned it over 7 times. 46-7 when leading at the half in his 3rd year is Kevin Ollie. The good news, and in the big picture for South Florida, and this has got to be nice, Chris Perry just walked into the building. Perry, last night at practice, went to the bench and doubled over with chest pains and shortness of breath. Spent the night in a Hartford hospital, underwent tests all morning, and just got to the arena about 5 minutes ago. So he's on the bench. That's great news. And so is that. Nicely drawn up at the half. Bo Ziegler on the lob. And South Florida putting 2 points right out of the chute, up on the board and down 8. They've drawn within single digits.
We're back to the 2-3 zone. The weakness in the zone is the high post. If you get it there, you can throw it below or you can kick it either side. Get it to the high post, look opposite.
Hamilton ball fake down the lane, got it up, and Facey finishes.
That's what Daniel Hamilton loves to do. Loves to penetrate, lob it up. A lot of times to Breimer. He does that time to Facey.
Well, Anthony Collins, Boatwright holding his head. He got an elbow there. Allen off a screen. Murillo rises. Missed the 3. Facey the rebound. UConn dominated on the boards. An 18-8 advantage right now.
UConn, go inside to the big guy. Try to establish your inside game.
Breimer waiting on the baseline. Boatwright rises. Misses the 3.
Got to push it now. The USF try to score in transition because UConn is very tough when they get their defense set. The fast break D, Rich, is not great, so try to score early or score late in the shot clock. They try to shorten the game. You're down 10, long way to go. Bulls still got a chance.
Collins bumped and scores his first field goal, getting by Boatwright, and that's not an easy thing to do.
Rich, he did not attempt a shot in the first half, Anthony Collins. He's got to give him something. He's one of the 2 guys we talked about with NCAA experience coming in to the season for USF. Collins
and Allen, the 2 guards, combined have just 3 points. That's a shove by Ziegler and an easy call for the officials. And for Ziegler, that's going to be his 4th personal foul. South Florida is woefully thin, especially in the low blocks, with Perry being out of the ball game. And so Ziegler will come out. Dre Clayton, who saw a little bit of time in the first half, will come in. And Amita Breimer will get free throws. Breimer has yet to score. And he bangs home a free throw. And so there's Clayton, who played 2 minutes in the first half, and Ziegler sits down. There is help on the way. South Florida's had a real nice recruiting class. A pair of 4-star recruits and a transfer from Maryland. Roddy Peters is the transfer. And a couple of 6'8" players who are both 4-star recruits are coming to South Florida. And it's a foul on the shove. Contend Facey.
Good call. You can't have your arm on and push him with 2 hands. What Facey's looking at. It's advantage, disadvantage. It's a big disadvantage if you can push somebody with 2 hands.
Of course, as we showed you in the first half, John Adams, the head of officiating, is here in attendance. So they get anything like that, with freedom of movement, the points of emphasis over the last couple of years, the officials are going to be on it.
Yeah, we talked to him before the game, and he said it's getting better, Rich. 2 years ago, it was football on the perimeter. Last year was better. Now it's better. They're letting some contact go, but they're not overreacting, the officials.
Allen driving. Allen got up. Breimer may have gotten a piece of Allen and not the ball.
He might have jumped into him that time. So if the dribbler jumps into the guy, and both players have that right of verticality.
Boatwright shaking his head. Allen went for the steal.
USF stays in the 2-3 zone. The weakness is the high post. Get the ball to the foul line. They're looking to try to get it to Boatwright in the baseline. The foul line, put a skilled guy there. If you get it to the middle, you can kick it low, or you kick it opposite.
Calhoun rises and hits. Omar Calhoun. 9 different UConn players have scored. For Calhoun, his first points of the game.
So Brooklyn, New York, Christ the King High School. It's a very famous high school in the Catholic League in New York City. It's in Queens.
Murillo. Allen gets a screen. Collins in trouble. Finds Murillo. Guerrero with the rebound, and he's fouled on the reach. And it looks like Facey.
Got a screen out. No screen out by the Huskies. Guerrero with the rebound. Yep, good call. Facey fouled him.
Third personal on Facey.
Huskies in a 2-3 zone defense. Playing a zone defense now, so to prevent an easy layup underneath. Man-to-man, a lot of times, if you play man-to-man defense underneath, you get carved up and get an easy shot. It's tough to score against the zone.
Facey out with 3 fouls. Rodney Purvis in. Purvis had 9 points off the bench. And a running hook for Ruben Guerrero.
Rich, the banks are open at 117 in Hartford, Connecticut. Make your deposit. I don't know if he wanted to bank it, but they're open.
Hard to believe on a Sunday for Guerrero. His first shot and first points of the game. Corey Allen Jr. with the foul. UConn just can't put South Florida away. It's a 10-point lead for the defending national champs, the UConn Huskies, here in Hartford. Time now for the Reese's Perfect Play, one of the bright spots for UConn on the day. This started by Daniel Hamilton.
Daniel Hamilton's a great passer. He penetrates. He loves to do this. He pushes it in the lane, throws it up there, and Facey with the finish. Daniel Hamilton does a great job. He loves to do it a lot of times to Breimer. And Breimer had 40 points against Coppin State. Hamilton did 8 of those passes to him. So
Facey with 4 points, 7 rebounds. You can see UConn with 11 field goals, 5 assists. That's of note in their win against Central Florida. They had just 25 field goals, scored 67 points. But 21 of those 25 field goals had an assist attached to it.
It shows his good chemistry and unselfishness. That's coaching by Kevin Ollie.
Still, though, some concern that the Huskies haven't put South Florida away. South Florida rebuilding and shorthanded today. Murillo up the floor. Purvis caught up. And it's Purvis with the foul.
Kevin Ali sick. He's a point guard. He hates those turnovers. Huskies average 12 turnovers a game. Can't jump in the air to pass. Murillo packs the basket.
Yamias Murillo out of the Dominican Republic. You know, Orlando Antigua, the head coach for South Florida, is only the second one of 2 Hispanic coaches in Division I. Frank Martin, who was raised in the Miami area, the head coach at South Carolina. And Antigua with the extensive international experience as a player for the Pro League in Puerto Rico when he came out of Pitt, and as a head coach the last couple years, the head coach of the Dominican national team.
Right.
And he's had success with the Dominican national team. It has given him 2 years of head coaching experience leading into his first job in the NCAA.
That's very valuable. Some great competition. Staying in a 2-3 zone. Got to make some perimeter shots now, the Huskies.
Calhoun is fouled before the drive.
Nice shot fake by Calhoun. Attacks the basket. Gets fouled.
Drake Clayton on the reach.
Your USF, just pack it in. You got to cheat the boat right. Best perimeter shooter. Know where he is if you're USF. Get the Huskies to screen the top of the zone. Try to drive it or get it to the high post.
Another turnover for UConn. Murillo on the dish and the finish with a right hand by Corey Allen Jr. And UConn wants a timeout. And they need a timeout. Well, they had chances to put South Florida away in the first half, but look at this. The Bulls are within 6 of UConn here in Hartford. News and notes from around the NCAA in the Big East. Georgetown earlier taking down number 4 Villanova. Kentucky continues to roll. Virginia staying hot, an 18-0 record. Now Kentucky hasn't lost a game. You know what? They have lost a game this year, and here it is. The Dominican Republic national team, and look who was coaching. Orlando Antigua, of course, on John Calipari's staff for 5 years at Kentucky. This was in August. Jack Michael Martinez hit the game-winning shot with 2.5 seconds left, and the Dominican gets a stunning 63-62 win over Kentucky.
Orlando knocked off his old boss, coaching the Dominican Republic national team. As you said before, Rich, it's great experience for coaching in Division I basketball at a high level.
Well, right now, he's got South Florida within 6 of the defending national champs. 14.5 minutes left.
USF changes to man-to-man defense. I would just do it one possession and go back to the zone. Zone was good to you. It's not broken, don't try to fix it.
Hamilton. This is Samuel Brima. Brima's doubled and he fires it out of bounds. And South Florida forces a turnover. Kevin Ollie's long day continues.
Kevin Ollie very upset. Good job by Orlando. The man-to-man, change of pace.
See the turnovers. 10 now for UConn. And South Florida playing without Chris Perry, who is back on the bench. The left hand by Guerrero, not good. Look at Clayton with the rebound and the putback. Hamilton rips it out of the group.
Huskies got to get going now. Back to the 2-3 zone. I like it. Change defenses. The more you change, the more you make a team think. When they think, their feet get slower.
Samuel's pass. That's 4 consecutive turnovers for UConn. And a messy second half. Collins hits a 3 straight on. And the Bulls are within 3. South Florida rising up, short-handed. Extremely young, extremely thin, and down by 3.
And Chris Perry up there cheering for his team. Back in the 2-3 zone, which I like. Get the ball to the high post. I would put a skilled guy at the high post. I'd put Hamilton there, not Brima.
Purvis. That's a nice answer from Rodney Purvis.
He's playing great, Rodney Purvis. He wants that starting job back, Rich. He's playing with a sense of urgency. Some of the other Huskies are not quite as motivated as Rodney Purvis right now.
Guerrero, not a 3-point threat off the screen. Collins. Murillo. Bang! He gets a 3. And South Florida back within 3. Boatwright. Oh, that's offensive foul. Boatwright lowered the shoulder, extended the arm. And UConn right now is on its heels.
Good pressure defense. 2 guys trap him now. Collins going after it, and Corey Allen Jr. Boom. Good call. Pushed off at the arm. USF, take your time. Guard's got to do it, Rich. Collins, Corey Allen, or Murillo. Those are the guys that can score in the perimeter.
Allen, he's got Boatwright on him. That was the 2nd foul on Boatwright. It's a 3-point game. Quiet day from Guerrero, who steps through and draws contact, and he'll get to the line.
Guerrero backs his man in. Nice job.
Philip Nolan with the foul. It's his 4th personal. Remember all the fouls that UConn had in the last 5 minutes of the first half. That could be a factor here in the second half, but Guerrero misses the first of two. Amita Brima back in for UConn.
Guerrero's only a 46% shooter from the free throw line, so Bulls, if you want to have a chance for an upset, you got to make your free throws. Only shooting 63% from the foul line coming into the game, Rich. It's not good.
Guerrero under 50% on the season, just 46, and he gets that one to roll in. Under a dozen minutes left, and South Florida's within 2 of UConn. This is a real surprise here. South Florida playing without one of their best players, Chris Perry, who was in the hospital. Another turnover. That's what, 5 turnovers in the last 4 minutes for UConn. Nehemias Murillo and South Florida have come roaring back within 2 of UConn. In Hartford, in the American, UConn's lead is down to 2 over South Florida. Fastest scores updates for USF, UConn, all teams on the CBS Sports app. Fastest app for sports fans. Download the CBS Sports app now. Rich Waltz, Pete Gillen, Nehemias Murillo, who's hit some big shots for South Florida.
He's doing a great job. Here he cuts off the high post. Nice finish in the lane. Way downtown, buries a 3. He's on fire. Steps into the 3 here. Murillo's got 16 points. He's on fire, doing a great job. That's why you have to put a team away early, Rich. Now USF believes they can win, so we got a dogfight now. 5 for 9 from the field, 16 points, 2 rebounds. Murillo's playing great.
12-point lead was the biggest for UConn, a 10-point lead at the half. And a couple of times in that first half, UConn had an opportunity to really blow this game open, and they did not.
Exactly, got to put somebody away now. UConn's playing without their best player. Ryan Boatwright's getting a little rest now. Got a chance, the Bulls, to try to catch up, tie the game, or get the lead.
Clayton, shot clock down to 10. Allen takes a look at his coach, Orlando Antigua. Allen, crossover in the lane, shot blocked. Brima, Purvis in transition, fouled, and free throws. A rim protector, Amita Brima.
Allen blows by Purvis like the wind, but he's got to go in the back. See another angle with a crack through. He blocked it, Rich, and that started the fast break, so that's what you got to do. Tremendous defense by Amita Brima.
And that's where UConn was at its best in this ball game in the first 10 minutes. Defensive pressure and turnovers led to early offense.
Exactly. The defense get their offense going. The quick hands and block shots, because UConn struggles in the half court because they can't score inside. They don't have a big guy that score consistently inside. So the defense has to get their offense going.
Been a good day for Rodney Purvis. 14 for Purvis to lead UConn.
Yeah. From USF now, bring the big guy away from the basket. Bring Brima away. I like that.
On the handoff, Allen. Murillo. The miss. Purvis has the rebound. Samuel in transition. Back into the zone, and it's given UConn some issues.
No question about it.
Samuel and Cassell in the backcourt with Purvis, Facey, and Brima.
I'm looking for Purvis now. He's on fire. Samuel's more of a driver.
This is Purvis. That's a 3, and probably a little deeper than Kevin Ollie wanted. 4-point game and a timeout for South Florida. Yesterday was a big day in college basketball, especially in Cincinnati, especially at Xavier University, where our Pete Gillen was honored along with the 25th anniversary of his Sweet 16 team at Xavier. A lot of good memories, Coach. I'm sure of it.
It was, Rich. Yeah, that's with Jamal Walker, my point guard from the Bronx, New York. Cardinal Hayes, he put on a few pounds there.
Oh, the bobblehead. It was Pete Gillen bobblehead day. How about that?
Yeah. They gave out 3,000 of them, and if you turn it in, you get a 3-day-old donut from Dunkin' Donuts. So they're not worth a lot. But
is that your first bobblehead?
First bobblehead. They said it's the biggest intercollegiate bobblehead in memory. So I got kind of a big clock. But it was very nice of Xavier. I coached there 9 years, 1985 to 94. We won a few games, so it was very nice. It was great to see some old players and a lot of fans and some friends.
That's terrific. Then you stopped for a little Skyline Chili on the way out of town.
I wanted, but I didn't have. I had to rush to the game, Rich. I want to hang with you.
That's right, and we are in Hartford, where South Florida is down by just 4 with the basketball and playing short-handed.
Now they got to be smart now. Take good shots. Guard's got to be aggressive. Murillo's got to be aggressive, as well as the other guys inside.
Murillo misses over Cassell. UConn in transition and a bump. Anthony Collins with the contact.
It's important to guard the basketball. Sam Cassell Jr., nice job on the ball. Excellent. He's hanging in there, made a tough shot under pressure, under duress. That's what they got to do, the Huskies. Great defense and get out and run. Huskies are at their best when they run because they're tremendously athletic, they're quick, they fill the lanes, and they're very unselfish. They don't shoot it great from the perimeter, and they don't have an inside score, so they have to score in transition.
Dinero Mercurius in for South Florida. Corey Allen Jr. will sit down. Brian Boatwright not in there right now for UConn. It's Cassell and Samuel in the backcourt. And it's a kick. That almost was another turnover, and that's been an issue.
Samuel's pass, a couple of passes he threw were very disappointing. Kevin Ali didn't like that at all. That's why Ryan Boatwright's back in the game.
UConn had 6 turnovers in 4.5 minutes of play, and that really fueled the South Florida comeback.
Exactly.
Boatwright. Purvis wide open, missed the 3. Facey was held on the rebound. Mercurius had a hand on him.
Purvis had a nice look. He's grabbing him. Good call by the officials.
Well, you wonder where South Florida would be if Chris Perry was able to play in this game. He averages 11.7 rebounds. He's been released from a local hospital. He's on the bench right now. It's great news for South Florida and for Perry. Boatwright penetrates, kicks to Purvis.
Yeah. Screen at top of the zone.
Boatwright hanging, can't finish. South Florida with the rebound. Anthony Collins pushes tempo. Collins, Bryma! Boatwright! Oh, that's pretty. Big crowd here in Hartford. Really hasn't had a chance to get into this one. UConn stretches the lead back to 6.
When you have a shot block like that, you got to bring him away from the basket, or you got to take it right to his chin, Rich. You can't go away from him.
Mercurio, and it's goaltending. Bryma was above the cylinder. Mercurius gets the basket.
And we see Amita Bryma, one of the best shot blockers in the country. Penetration by Collins. Great block by Bryma. Kept it in bounds. Started the fast break, and nice finish by Ryan Boatwright. Tremendous defense leads to good offense. Huskies are at their best when they're running.
3 blocks for Bryma in this one, and as you pointed out, all 3 of the blocks have stayed in play and ended up in the hands of his teammates.
That's the difference. You can block it out of bounds and be pretty, but you want to get the transition game going. From the Huskies, I'm going to screen the top of the zone, screen the guards, and get the ball to the high post.
Purvis missed the 3. Bryma the rebound, put it on the floor, and it's a held ball or a foul. It is a held ball. It stays with UConn. Good work down low by Bo Ziegler.
Yeah, you got to keep the ball high. He brought it way down. Collins, the little guard, got a piece of it. He's lucky he didn't get it stripped.
Ziegler comes out just before the media timeout. Boatwright on a back cut and fouled. We'll see if it was on the shot. It's 1-1, so not in the act of shooting. Boatwright still goes to the line. You know, I think a lot of people compare Boatwright to Shabazz Napier and the job that Napier did last year. Napier, quite honestly, had a better supporting cast. Boatwright has a lot of responsibility on his shoulders and a younger team to deal with. And free throw is up and good. Kevin Ollie in just his 3rd year. Of course, last year, UConn a magical ride through March and into the Final Four, where they took down Florida and then beat Kentucky for the national title.
If I'm UConn, I'm pressing. Got to come after him a little bit. Get him to turn the basketball over. Collins is too quick for Hamilton. They isolate Collins. I think he can drive by Hamilton, but get the big guy in the back. That's the problem.
Mercurio missed the 3. Hamilton the rebound. Up ahead, Facey missed the shot. Hamilton knocked it out of bounds. And it's a South Florida ball. It's a much closer game than we expected. UConn up 6 over South Florida. A recap with the AT&T game summary. Just a 6-point lead for UConn. Rich Waltz along with Pete Gillen. You see the bench points for UConn and the rebounding advantage, but the Bulls have hung in there.
Certainly hung in there. They're doing a great job. Murillo, 16 points. Really doing great. Season high for him for USF. Doing an excellent job, but it's Amita Bryant right now who's taking over the game with his shot blocking ability. We see Ziga goes in there strong. Corey Allen tries it. Anthony Collins is keeping it in bounds and they're pushing ahead, blocking shots and leading to transition baskets for the Huskies. Amita Bryant right now is the story of the game in the second half.
So Bryant officially now with 4. Bryant on the season runs his total of 48. And Kevin Ollie and the Huskies up by 6. South Florida, we told you, without Chris Perry. Chest pain, shortness of breath, spent the night in a Hartford hospital, released after tests. Not available to play, just actually joined the team at halftime. He's on the bench right now. Guerrero in the blocks. Doubled.
Gonna hit some outside shots now if you're the Bulls. Gonna knock down some threes. Boatwright, great defender, is on the leading scorer for USF, Corey Allen Jr.
He's not the leading scorer in this one. Guerrero lost it to Hamilton, and Guerrero holding his face as he runs back down the court. Yeah, Boatwright's been outstanding defensively. Allen is just 1 of 6 and has 3 points. As you pointed out, he averages close to 15 a game. One of the leading scorers in the American.
Exactly. Ryan Boatwright, fabulous defender besides being an outstanding offensive player.
Cassell misses badly. Facey, a hustle rebound, tipped by Allen. Up the floor, a run out for South Florida. Murillo lays it in. And South Florida just won't go away here in Hartford. 45-41.
Gotta love their heart. They're playing with a lot of determination, a lot of courage.
And the zone continues to slow down UConn offensively.
Yep.
Boatwright penetrates, jumper, got it, and a foul.
He's upset. He's got to take over the game. Nice job. Screen the top of the zone, screen the guards. He's got 3 guys up there, only against 2 against USF, and Boatwright with the mid-range game. He's got a fabulous mid-range game, Rich.
Back in the ball game is Rodney Purvis. And sitting down is Sam Cassell. Purvis has had a terrific afternoon, 14 points. He came off the bench. Boatwright with that bucket, now with 15. He's now all alone, 18th on UConn's all-time scoring list. And a 3-point play stretches the lead back to 7.
It's good. The Huskies full court pressure, try to get a turnover, have the defense get their offense going.
Holston.
Murillo's got to get a basket now. He can score. Got to give him some help.
Nehemias Murillo has 16. Nehemias Murillo missed the 3. Brima above everybody. Nicely done. on a hand. Corey Allen couldn't save it. And the basketball to UConn.
Shot goes up. You got to protect the basketball. Corey Allen just got the pick. USF stays in the 2-3 zone, which I like. He's got to pack it in. Right now, the Huskies' best thing they can do is screen the top of the zone. They don't have a skilled guy at the foul line, so screen the guards up top and try to drive.
UConn in no particular hurry. Boatwright off the screen. He has hit another three. Two big shots for Boatwright. An old-fashioned three-pointer, and that one. And so Boatwright himself has stretched the lead. Back to 10, 5.5 left. Not everyone can be a quarterback, coach. You got to get inside the minds of those who can. Rich Gannon, Steve Berline, Trent Green. NFL Monday quarterback delivered by FedEx tomorrow, 6 Eastern. Only on CBS Sports Network. 24-hour home of CBS Sports. In Hartford, second home for UConn, 51-41.
All right, last bucket here now by the Huskies. We see a nice screen at the top. Here we see Facey. He's going to come up here and set the screen right at the top. Okay, he's going to go right up there. Here we go, right here, the top. He's going to come up to the top, and then we're going to screen. Screen the top of the zone, and we go.
You know, for Boatwright, it's a real balance. When you're a scoring point guard, trying to keep everybody involved, and at the same time, when your team needs points, getting those points. Guerrero, sweeping left-hand hook. There is a big upside for Ruben Guerrero, just a freshman out of Spain. A lot of potential. A lot of coaches around the American have looked at him and said, watch out in a year or two.
Yeah, a young player. Only a freshman, 6'11", got potential.
He's put on about 35 pounds just since he stepped on campus. Boatwright, why not? Bang! The last 9 UConn points belong to Ryan Boatwright. 22 points for the Huskies guard.
He's taking over the game. That's why he's one of the top players in the country, Rich. Outstanding guard.
Guerrero a screen. Murillo out to Allen, rises up and hits a jumper. Nicely done. Corey Allen Jr., the lone senior for South Florida. The lead is 9. UConn trying to get themselves to 4-2 in the American.
Sooner or later now, USF's going to have to go man-to-man, I think, next possession, because Huskies will just run the clock out.
Purvis, a baseline drive, contact, and then a hard landing. And a timeout. UConn, a 9-point lead, stretch run here in Hartford.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by AT&T, mobilizing your world.
Good crowd in Hartford, home away from home for the defending national champs. And the Huskies starting to pull away late here against South Florida, thanks to Ryan Boatwright, who has hit 3 enormous shots.
Here we see a nice screen at the top of the zone. Boatwright, who has a fabulous mid-range game, pulls up and knocks a couple down. Here we see, shoots over the zone. Terrific three-point shooter. He can score on all 3 levels. Mid-range game, three-point shot, and get to the rim and finish around the basket.
See that 7 of 10. He's 4 of 5 from beyond the arc. He's dished out a couple of assists. And of course, Boatwright at the point. UConn has a great tradition of point guards. Last 4 Bob Cousy Award winners. You got a pair of Huskies in there.
Exactly.
But Walker, Shabazz Napier last year.
No question. Boatwright's in the conversation. He's certainly a fabulous guard. And Kevin Ali, we saw there, is also a fabulous guard.
Rodney Purvis. And I brought the question up early. Purvis off the bench suddenly has refound his scoring touch. If you're Kevin Ollie, do you keep him on the bench? Do you reward him by putting him in the lineup? What do you do?
Good question. I would keep him on the bench. He's playing great right now. It's what's best for the team, not what's best for Ronnie Purvis. And some people are more comfortable coming off the bench. I'd keep him on the bench right now.
How do you broker that with the player? Do you explain, hey, you're going to get more minutes than you were getting as a starter?
Exactly. You can say you're going to play just as much or more minutes, but right now it's best. It's not forever. It's not permanent, but this is what we're going to do. That's what I would do right now. And this way you're developing also some of your younger players. So I would bring him off the bench next couple of games, see what happens. When you're playing that well, he's certainly motivated today. They expected big things for him. Ronnie Purvis is a McDonald's All-American, transferred from NC State, and been up and down so far, but he's having a great game this afternoon.
Hamilton, a straight on three. Coach, it's still open.
The banks are open on Sunday in Hartford, Connecticut at 5-2. Make your deposit, get some interest.
Imagine that. That was a direct deposit.
That's direct. It's the baseball terminology, Rich, which you're familiar. They're all line drives in the book.
Yes, they are. 58-45, UConn on top. The lead is 13. There's a steal. It's Allen. Blocked from behind by Purvis. Allen got it back. Brima clobbers Allen. The bucket goes. Allen will get a free throw. My goodness, what a three-point opportunity this is.
Wow. Great hustle by Purvis. And Amita Brima coming right after that. So we see nice steal by Corey Allen Jr. Purvis doesn't give up on the play, blocks it. Good hustle by Corey Allen. He's right into the media section there, and Brima fouled, so good hustle by the Huskies. Big hoop for the Bulls. Down 10. Got to get a steal now.
Boatwright is fouled. Collins with the reach. The lead is 10.
Yeah, what you got to do now, you got to foul a lot if you're USF. You don't want to foul Ryan Boatwright, one of the best free throw shooters in the country. It's Kevin Ali, a lot of poise. Orlando's a terrific young coach. And be pleased with his guy's effort today, Rich.
Well, as we've noted, he's been without Chris Perry the whole game. And hopefully for South Florida, Perry checks out fine physically and is able to play next week. Boatwright adding to what has been a sparkling day. 24 points. It matches his season high. He's 2 off his career high.
Good job by the Huskies keeping the full court pressure. Try to burn off a few more seconds.
Allen got it. It's a long 3. And South Florida's within 9. 2 minutes left. Boatwright fouled again, and he'll have a chance to equal his career high at the free throw line. Boatwright is the very best, and obviously South Florida wasn't trying to foul him, but if they do go that route, there are some of your choices.
Exactly. Maybe Hamilton, a young freshman, try to foul him. He'd be a guy to foul. All right, Brima if he's in the game. All right, Purvis, so you don't want to foul. Facey, everybody but Boatwright. So when he gives the ball up, Rich, you got to give a foul. 1:58 left. It's a giant mountain to climb, but you got to keep swinging for 40 minutes.
Boatwright. Now at 25, this could equal a career high. And he does. Nicely done. And were it not for Ryan Boatwright in the last, 5 minutes, this game would be tied, or South Florida would be up, because it was a 3-point game. UConn on top before Boatwright went off and hit 9 straight. Murillo, Brima up for the block. South Florida wanted a goaltend. Brima's got 5 blocks on the day.
He's terrific. When he drives like that, the big guy, Guerrero's got to create the pass, Rich. He's got to come in so the driver can see him. They got to look for him.
Hamilton stumbles, fumbles, and travels.
We see Murillo drives by his man, goes in there. Breimer blocked it against the board. And look, same play. Guerrero has to step up and be available. He's got to create the pass, and Murillo's got to look for him.
Allen by Boatwright.
That's it.
This time, no shot for Breimer to block.
Everybody's got to react to that. When Breimer comes up, that big guy comes up, you dish it to the guard.
Boatwright fouled again. So, at the outset of the telecast, we told you that UConn, despite a 10-7 record, has an opportunity in the second half of the American schedule to climb right up to the top of the conference. They play SMU twice, Tulane twice, Memphis twice. They still play Tulsa again, Temple, and Cincinnati. Coming up next, road to the Final Four continues. CBS Sports Network will stay in the American. Dave Ryan, Steve Wolf, Jamie Erdahl waiting. Down in Orlando, Central Florida taking on Cincinnati. And then women's basketball for Eastern. John Sadek, Anne-Marie Anderson, Tulane and South Florida. Here it's been Ryan Boatwright in the second half. South Florida playing without one of their top players. Chris Perry has hung tough, but UConn putting the finishing touches on what will be win number 11 and a 4-2 mark in the American.
Good response by the Huskies. You got to like USF's courage and toughness. They kept fighting even though they were outmanned today.
Hamilton running clock. Boatwright, the big day. Hamilton's shot is short. Guerrero the rebound. In a rebuilding year, a young and thin South Florida team gave UConn all they wanted here today. Purvis. That'll do it. Rodney Purvis will finish with 17 off the bench. Kevin Ollie, and UConn survives 66-53. A win over South Florida and a 4-2 record in the American. Back to Hartford after this. 66-53 the final. 66-53 the final. UConn, thanks to Ryan Boatwright, a career high. The winner here, Boatwright was electric in the second half. South Florida had drawn within 3, and it's a nice win. Style points, maybe not so much, but at 4-2 now, UConn trying to start their climb up to the top of the conference. A reminder, we're right around the bend from Cincinnati and Central Florida. It's coming right up on CBS Sports Network. Rich Waltz along with Pete Gillen. Your impressions on UConn today?
Well, nice response. Once again, nice job by USF. A challenge him, but good defense. Breimer was great in the second half. Blocking shots. The defense led to easy offense for the Huskies. Your
point at to start, though, Ryan Boatwright needs some help if UConn is going to get themselves to the postseason.
Exactly. Purvis was great today. If he can do that again, big help for the Huskies.
For Pete Gillen, I'm Rich Waltz. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, 24-hour home of CBS Sports. From the American North down to Orlando, Dave Ryan, Steve Wolf, Jamie Erdahl, Cincinnati, and Central Florida. Goodbye from Hartford.